In this movie, we're going to look at the blend effect. Now, the blend effect, as well as others in this category, such as compound arithmetic, not super efficacious. They're not the best thing to use. The blend modes that you'll find here in the timeline panel, these will generally give you better results. As you click toggle switches and modes, these blend modes here are going to give you better results. But at the same time, with blend specifically, you can animate effects blending on and off, which you can't do here in the timeline panel. So while it's not super powerful, it does have some merit. So I'm going to add the blend effect to this garage zoom layer. And actually, it probably might be a good idea before jumping in here and showing you what we're blending. Let me show you our core components here. We have some green fog, and basically just kind of like animates and moves around. And it's a little bit slow to render smoothly because it is fractal noise and it takes a little while to render. But you get the idea. It's just some moving green fog. And so what we're going to do is we're going to use the blend effect to put some green fog in the garage. What we're going to do is we're going to go to the blend effect. And what we first have to do is say blend with layer green fog. Notice that in this green fog, if we go back to the green fog comp, this is just a solid with fractal noise applied to it, but you have to pre-compose it or else it doesn't work. It would look at the solid and not the object on the solid. So that's why it's pre-composed here. So this is another core component here is the mode. Do we crossfade it? Basically, do we fade one out and fade the other in? Or do we use the color, tint, darken, lighten, etc.? Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to take down blend with original, and then we start to see the fog come in here. Actually, I'm going to take this back to crossfade, the defaults. So basically, as you can see here, it just crossfades. That's not super spectacular. Basically, you do the same thing with opacity. And as we get color only, you can see that we can control how much color of the green fog layer applies to our layer, but it's only the color. Same thing with tint. And this kind of is an interesting effect. As I take this down really low, you'll see that pretty much a lot of the stuff gets a green tint, but the car especially looks really nice just with a little bit of green tint. It's kind of cool. Also, we can only darken the layer or only lighten the layer. Now, as we'll see with compound arithmetic, we can't really animate these modes. If I were to click a stopwatch for the mode parameter here, and let's say I wanted to animate this going from lighten only to darken only. Here's the deal. If I hit the letter U now to see my keyframes, the default keyframe for this is a hold keyframe. So there's not going to be a smooth transition between lighten only and darken only. It basically just jumps from one to the other. You'll see the same thing in compound arithmetic, unfortunately. So basically what we can do with this effect is just animate the blend with original setting. Now, if you're looking at this saying, wow, I only have like these 5 modes and they're really not that spectacular, and I can only just kind of cross dissolve between them, this really isn't that spectacular. Yeah, I really would have to agree with you there. So this is not one of those older effects. If you needed to be able to animate the blending of layers together, this is one way to do it.